Okay, so here we have Le Chien Blanc from the Pays d'Oc in France.
Absolutely.
Southern France?
Southern France, yeah, it says Pays d'Oc, but actually we know, so Pays d'Oc is actually a much bigger region which incorporates lots of littler areas. We know that one of the littler areas that it actually comes from is Roussillon, which is right down on the south of France, literally before you get into the Spanish border. So if anybody's ever driven from France into Spain, just before you get into Spain, you sort of get into that mountainous, rugged, rocky sort of area, and that is the Roussillon region. But Pays d'Oc is the listed, what's written on the bottle, and it is an IGP, an Indication Geographique Protégée. See that there?
Yeah.
IGP. So IGP is a signifier of quality, but at quite a wide level. And France, as well as Spain and Italy, have these signifiers of quality. In France, the highest level is, well, not the highest level. So one of the highest levels is AOC. So if you see AOC written on a French wine, then it's a fairly concentrated region that does a load of stuff to a high level of quality that the French deem to be a signifier of quality. In Italy and Spain, it's DOC. Now, within that, you can get named villages or towns as well. So, for example, in France, there might be Gevrey-Chambertin, which is a village in Burgundy. Burgundy is the AOC. Gevrey-Chambertin is this particular village. And the same occurs, like Rioja, for example, is a named region, and then they'll have villages within. IGP is wider net than that. Now, that does mean better value. It does mean cheaper wine, but don't worry, it doesn't mean low quality. And actually, these setups were created a very, very long time ago. The way they were created involves a lot of brown envelopes, a lot of conversations with friends, and just because you're drinking wine from a named village or an AOC or an IGP, it really doesn't have a massive sway on whether you or I or any normal wine drinker is going to have a lovely time with it. So don't worry about it too much. But IGP does signify a certain level of standard, which means, this is really great quality wine for us average drinkers. Roussillon is the region though, super rugged. Down there we're talking Grenache Blanc, the white version of Grenache, Marsanne, Roussanne. There'll be Sauvignon down there, there'll be Colombard down there, a whole mix of great varieties.
And speaking of mixes, this is a field blend, isn't it? It's whatever's out there that's grown well that particular year.
Yeah, and field blends are something that I guess we don't see a huge amount of nowadays. We're very focused on our single varietals, bottles that say one grape on the side. And actually, single varietals is a very modern thing. It's not something that is natural in the wine world. Actually, blending is better because, if you look out into your landscape as a winemaker or as a farmer, you're going to have a whole variety of different types of grapes. Some of them that do better when spring is colder, some of them that do better when spring is hotter, some that do better in wet autumns, some that do better in dry autumns. And that stuff is changeable. And the ones that do well each year and the ones that fail each year will dictate what you put in the bottle at the end. So actually what you get, a result with field blends, a more sort of ancient practice, I guess, is consistency in the sense that every year it's the grapes that did the best that go into the bottle, and the ones that didn't do so well fall by the wayside.
Yeah, I mean, easy drinker this, and I think that is one of the kind of things with field blends, isn't it? It's blending all the best parts of a few different wines, just making something that's really easy drinking. When are you reaching for this? For me, I'm thinking friends, put it on a table. Doesn't necessarily matter exactly what's going down food-wise. It's just a good all-rounder, right? For sure, a good all-rounder.
We can deduce the fact that it's from the Roussillon region that there's probably Sauvignon Blanc in there. There's probably Colombard in there, which is a white grape in France, which is similar to Sauvignon that they use a lot in Roussillon. But there are some slightly heavier hitters, the Marsannes and Roussannes, which are full-bodied white grapes that have actually come across from the Côte de Rhône. So there's a bit more body and weight there. But yeah, it's a great all-rounder. Dry white wine drinkers are going to love this. It's going to be right up your street if you're a Sauvignon fan, if you're a Pinot fan, if you're a Chardonnay fan. If I was going to put food on the table with this, it's probably a nibbles. It's a nibbles wine for me. I don't think I'd put it strongly with any other type of food apart from, you got some friends around, you got nibbles out. This is the one.
Right, I'll get the bowls and you bring the wine.
Cheers.